Hi everybody, welcome back to Cap at Home. I'm Miss Van and you're here with Cap at Home in Gold, Detroit. And today we are going to discuss Robert Blackburn and how he inspired me to make these really cool prints. But before we get too into that, I just want to say a quick thank you to our sponsors, General Motors and the Community Education Commission of the City of Detroit. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here and providing us with this opportunity to provide free programming to everybody on our social media. So let's take a look at what we need. So I've got this image that inspired me of Robert Blackburn's. It's called Color Proof, and he was a very influential artist of the 80s. And his kind of whole, what was special about his work is that he was one of the first people to create prints using multiple colors in one block at one time. So what we need for this project is some paper, and I have it taped down to my work surface here with some masking tape. And then I have 4 colors of acrylic paint here that I think will blend well. I've got this pre-cut piece of cardboard that I'm going to use as my printing block. I've got some scissors and a utility knife, and I've got some more cardboard here that I'm going to use to actually make the shapes on my printing block. And then also I have some glue over here. I have my hot glue gun. You can use any type of glue that you like. I just like to use the hot glue gun because it dries quickly for these presentations. So I'm going to start by cutting some fun shapes from this piece of cardboard here. And I'm going to use my utility knife. I'm going to do some kind of polygon, 4-sided polygons, because that is kind of the inspiration I'm getting from this print. But you can do really any shape you like. I was so happy to get a chance to go to the Detroit Institute of Arts to see this really awesome display of Robert Blackburn's, along with some other really amazing print artists from the same era. So I really recommend that you go check it out if you like printmaking as much as I do. So I'm just getting some shapes together here, and I'm being really careful with my utility knife. And I have, you see this other piece of cardboard that I'm going to do my actual cutting on. And then I'm also, I have paintbrush. So this is sort of a wider paintbrush, but it's also going to allow me to apply paint individually to each of these small pieces of cardboard once I have them glued onto my printing block. I'm just going to take a little bit of time and lay out how I want my shapes to look before I actually glue them down. And one thing I really like about cardboard and working with it is this just really cool texture you get from the corrugation. It's really interesting to work with. So I'm just going to get one more piece here. And maybe I'm going to get a few pieces of the edge of the corrugation, just because it's like cool. I think it's really cool. Like, look at that. That's a texture you can use to print with. I'm just gonna peel this too, because you get, this is really interesting to me as well. So I'm just gonna play with the layout a little bit. I think this piece up a little bit more just to give a little bit more movement to my print here. And I'm just really having fun with making the shapes just kind of a little bit irregular. Alright, let's see how this looks. I really like the really super bright, fun color palette that was on the print that I chose to kind of emulate. So I used similar colors here, and I think I just need one more little piece of cardboard. One thing I really like about studying art is that there's just so much of it out there, and you can really pick what speaks to you. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead with this. Whenever I use hot glue, I always like to have like a little piece of paper or extra piece of cardboard to protect my work surface. I know this is like so valuable, this cardboard work surface, but if you don't have something like this that you're working on, like your own table, it's just nice to have something underneath it. Also, you don't want it to get stuck to your work surface. One thing also you need to take into consideration when you're doing any kind of art project involving sort of permanent mark making is having some, like I have some paper towel on hand, and then I have my 3 buckets of water over off to the side here, so that if anything should need to be quickly wiped up, I have that. I also have cold water for my paintbrush. But I really consider the colors I chose for this project as colors that I like to see blended together. So I keep that in mind, and if I like the way that they look as they mix and blend, I don't need to wash my paintbrush off so much. Cardboard is just such an amazing medium to work with, and it's something that you're really never too far away from. Alright, so I have all of my pieces fixed to my printing block, so I'm going to get my paintbrush here and just I'm going to start adding a generous amount of this acrylic paint to each of my little sections. You don't have to worry too much about the surface differential when you're using cardboard like this, because it's all going to be more or less the same thickness. But that is something to consider when you're doing a print, but when you're making a print block with like sort of found objects, which I like to do a lot for these Cap at Home videos. That's a really fun shade of green. And I just want to stress that in order to get a good print, you want to make sure that you have a really generous amount of ink, or in this case acrylic paint, applied to each individual printing surface. So I'm just trying to be very generous here. So that's like a really good amount. I'm getting some really good blending already. I'm super happy with how this print is starting to look already. And I haven't even put it on the paper yet. All right. Some more color. This texture is just coming along so nicely. All right, so let's check it out. You really want to make sure that you get a good even amount of pressure on your whole printing block. If you want, you can also use a rolling pin to make sure that the pressure is really even. But let's just see how this looks. Yeah, that's so awesome. So this is my Robert Blackburn inspired cardboard prints. I hope you enjoyed this project. Please feel free to like and follow our videos, and if you have pictures of yourself doing these projects or finished projects that you want to add to the comment section on our videos here on Facebook Live, we'd love to see them and give you the opportunity to be featured on our social media page. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week. You can join us Monday through Thursday here on our social media channels between 4 and 4:30 every week. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.